So Tsedal has thought a lot about this, and she's here to talk with us about it. Tsedal, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. How can I make sure my team is working? Listen, this is what I always say, especially when it comes to remote work, or I'm working from home, or my team is globally distributed, so I don't see them. You have to trust your team.
Yeah.
This is where I get inspiration always from Ernest Hemingway, who says the way to trust people is to give them trust. That's the way you get trust. It's to trust people. You know your team is working because they're delivering on the work that you've set out for them. And if they're not delivering on the work that you've set out for them, then you manage it and you deal with it. So, but the idea of monitoring people or looking at what they're doing at a particular time needs to go away. You cannot do that with remote work. You cannot do that when people are working from home. You've got to abandon all notions of monitoring people when they're working from home. But the thing that you want to do, one of the first things that you want to do when people are starting to work from home as a manager, is to do a team or a group launch. What do we mean by that? You want to get on a call, preferably a video call. I'm hoping that you have access to a video call, kind of like we have right now with Brian, and you do what's called a group launch, a team launch. Every team has to have some kind of a launch. This is one of the success factors for groups or teams, is a launch. And over time, every group or a team should have what's called a relaunch to make sure that we're checking on the health of the team or the group and to see how we're doing. But now that people are suddenly doing the hashtag WFH, working from home, get your group together and say, okay, now that we're working from home, let's talk about how should we best operate as a group? How should we communicate? How often should we communicate? What are the challenges that each of us might have? How can we overcome them? How can we work together as a group to overcome those? How can we make sure that we remain connected with one another? How can we make sure that we continue to have the informal contact that we're used to? And then as a team, as a group, you can come up with creative ideas. There's some things that you can do. For example, Brian, you can still have happy hour, remotely. Really? You can.
And you're not driving.
Together. You can have lunch together remotely. You can do a lot of fun things together. You can remain connected as a group, even though you're not at the same place. So I would do a launch to begin to set up our new way of working, get some agreements, get people on the same page, and get going.